Ask any smoker why they smoke, and most of them will tell you the same thing. It helps me relax. It calms me down. And I get it. When you're stressed, you smoke a cigarette, you feel better. It genuinely feels like cigarettes are calming you. But here's the thing. That feeling is an illusion. Cigarettes aren't actually calming you down. They're doing the exact opposite. So in the next minutes, I'm going to show you why nicotine feels calming but actually increases your stress. So once you understand this, your entire relationship with smoking will change. So let's break down the science. First, let's talk about what actually happens in your body when you smoke. When you inhale nicotine, it reaches your brain in about 7 seconds. It binds to receptors and triggers the relapse of dopamine and other chemicals. You get a hit of dopamine, you feel a sense of your relief, your shoulders relax, you take a deep breath, you feel calm. So obviously cigarettes are calming you, right? Well, wrong. Here's what it's really happening. When you're a regular smoker, your body becomes dependent on nicotine. Between cigarettes, your nicotine levels drop. And when they drop, you start feeling uncomfortable. You feel restless, a little anxious, irritable, tense. This is withdrawal, but so mild that you don't recognize it as withdrawal. You just think that's how you feel normally. Then you smoke, the nicotine enters your system, it fills those receptors that were empty, the withdrawal symptoms disappear, and you feel relief. But you're not feeling calm, you're feeling normal again. You're just ending discomfort that not smoking created. It's like wearing shoes that are too tight all day, then taking them off and feeling relief. The relief isn't because the shoes were helping you, it's because they were hurting you and you finally stopped the pain. Now let's talk about what nicotine actually does to your body. Nicotine is a stimulant, not a relaxant. A stimulant, that means it speeds things up, not slowed them down. When you smoke, your heart rate increases, your blood pressure goes up, your blood vessels tighten, adrenaline gets released into your blood stream, and your body goes into a mild state of stress. This is the opposite of relaxation, by the way. Think about like other stimulant, like coffee and energy drink. They wake you up, they may make you more alert, they increase your heart rate. Nicotine does the same thing. It's activating your nervous system, not calming it. So how can something that increases your heart rate and blood pressure make you feel calm? It doesn't make sense. And that's because the calm you're feeling isn't from the nicotine itself. It's from ending the withdrawal you were experiencing. So let me give you an analogy. Imagine someone is poking you with a stick constantly. It's annoying and stressful. Then they stop poking you. You feel relief. But the person who stopped poking you isn't helping you relax. They're just stopping the thing that was making you stressed in the first place. That's exactly what cigarettes do. They create stress through withdrawal, then temporarily remove it, and your brain mistakes this for relaxation. Let's look at the actual stress cycle that smoking creates. When you wake up in the morning, you haven't smoked all night. Your nicotine levels are at zero, but you were sleeping peacefully. You weren't stressed. Then you wake up. Within minutes, you want a cigarette. You feel like you need one to start your day. You feel a bit on edge until you smoke. You smoke, you feel better. You think, okay, now I can start my day. But here's the question: why did you need a cigarette to feel normal? Non-smokers wake up and feel fine. They don't need anything to feel calm and ready for the day. The only reason you felt stressed when you woke up is because your brain realized nicotine levels were low and demanded more. Throughout the day, this cycle repeats. Every hour or two, your nicotine levels drop, you start feeling uncomfortable, you smoke, you feel relief, then you repeat. You think cigarettes are helping you handle the stress of the day, but they're creating constant low level stress that you then have to keep fixing with more cigarettes. Non-smokers don't experience this cycle. They go through their day without these artificial ups and downs. They have a stable baseline of calm. Smokers are on a constant roller coaster. They feel stressed, they smoke, they feel relief, they stress builds again, they smoke over again, over and over. That's not managing stress, that's creating it. That's creating stress. Now, there's one part of smoking that actually is calming, but it has nothing to do with nicotine. It's the deep breathing. When you smoke, you take a deep, slow breath. You inhale for a few seconds, you hold it, you exhale slowly, you pause, you repeat. Deep breathing is one of the most effective ways to calm your nervous system. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for relaxation. So when you smoke and feel calmer, part of that is actually from the breathing pattern, not the nicotine. But here's the thing, you don't need a cigarette to breathe deeply. You can do that anytime, anywhere for free, without poisoning yourself. The cigarette is just an excuse to stop and breathe. But you've convinced yourself you need cigarettes to get the benefit. Non-smokers who practice deep breathing get the same calming effect. Actually, they get more benefits because they're not also flooding their body with a stimulant that increases heart rate and blood pressure. So if you want real calm, deep breathing works, but you don't need to inhale toxic chemicals to do it. The calm you get from smoking is partly from ending a withdrawal and partly from the breathing. The nicotine itself isn't doing anything to calm you, it's doing literally the opposite. Let me give you some proof that cigarettes don't actually reduce stress. Studies have been done comparing stress levels in smokers versus non-smokers. And guess what? Smokers have higher stress levels overall. When the researcher measures things like anxiety, perceived stress, and stress hormones, smokers score worse than non-smokers. But smokers report that smoking helps them handle stress. So there's a disconnect between what they believe and what's actually true. Also, when people quit smoking and get through the withdrawal period, their stress levels drop significantly. They report feeling calmer, more relaxed, less anxious than when they were smoking. If cigarettes were actually reducing stress, the opposite would be true. People who quit will be more stressed, not less. But the reality is, cigarettes create a stress cycle. You only feel calm after smoking because you were feeling stressed before smoking. And you were only stressed because you needed nicotine. Here's another way to think about it. Have you ever been so busy or distracted that you went hours without thinking about smoking? And you were fine during that time? Then you remembered you haven't smoked and suddenly you felt the craving. Where was the stress before you remembered? It wasn't there. The stress isn't coming from your life circumstances. It's coming from your addiction demanding to be fed. This is exactly what I help people understand in my 14-day program. Once you see that cigarettes aren't actually calming you, once you understand the stress cycle they create, quitting becomes so much easier. So if you're ready to break free from the illusion and find real calm without cigarettes, book a free call with me. The link is in the description below. Let me show you what actual peace feels like without the constant cycle of withdrawal and relief. So what's the difference between real calm and the fake calm that smoking gives you? Real calm is a stable baseline. You feel peaceful, you're not constantly fighting cravings, you're not planning your day around when you can smoke, you're not feeling anxious when you can't smoke. Fake calm is just the temporary relief from withdrawal. It lasts maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Then the stress starts building again as your nicotine levels drop. Real calm doesn't require anything external. You don't need a substance to feel okay. You just feel okay naturally. Fake calm is dependent on having cigarettes available. If you run out, if you're somewhere you can't smoke, you panic. That's not calm. That's dependency. When you quit smoking and get through the withdrawal, you discover what real calm feels like. You realize you were never actually calm as a smoker. You were just cycling between stress and temporary relief. True peace comes from not needing anything, from being free. So remember, nicotine feels calming because it ends the withdrawal it created, but it's actually a stimulant that increases your baseline stress level. Real calm comes from being free from the addiction, not from feeding it. Click the link in the description and book your free call. Let's get you to real calm. Subscribe for more truth about smoking, and thanks for watching.